Round 3 of the GT4 Winter Series comes to us from Jerez. 3 races, as always.
Just looking to have a really good race, to be honest, and the weather's looking like it could do whatever, really. But yeah, hoping it to stay dry.
The goal would be to move forward. It was very close between the 3 of us this morning in qualifying, with only 2 tenths separating all 3 of us. But I made a silly mistake on the last corner of my qualifying lap, and we only had 1 lap in the tyres. So
it was less than 3 tenths off in quali, which is really good. 1 tenth would have put us on the front row, but that's racing, it's close. Yeah, should be a good result. Our race pace seems pretty good, so yeah.
It's Jamie Day and Joel Mesh that start on the front row of the grid. The Fassetti Motorsport number 19 Aston Martin with the pole position, with the inside line. Jamie Day has already taken 2 sprint race wins this year in the solo 30-minute encounters. Everybody through the first couple of corners okay, but look at that start from the first of the McLarens. That is the number 27 of Alex Denning, the second elite McLaren, joining for this weekend already. Up into second place, Joel Mesh down to third. It's also just starting to cloud over here. Hopefully the temperatures don't drop too far and affect everybody. Mattis Bruschkel in the Muka Motorsport Mercedes AMG GT4. He's having to fight hard to retain 4th position. Zach Meakin is behind him, and of course that 78 elite team will want to beat the 27. Max Huber would love to have beaten his teammate Alberto Di Martini in the AM class, but as we saw there, the car is beached in the gravel. That means a safety car has been deployed. Getting the heat cycle back through the tyres. That was Florian Bauer we were on board with, the current AM class leader. Very quick safety car period. We're back underway, and it is a battle for second place once again. Joel Mesh needs every point he can get in the battle against Fassetti Motorsport's Jamie Day and Mikey Porter. And going through the pit lane there is Alex Denning, and that's because he's been judged to be out of formation when the race started. Has to work his way back through the order then. That's Alexander Danza in the Pro-Am W&S Motorsport Cayman getting overtaken. Another of the Caymans, Florian Bauer, gets the same fate. But look at that, the 11 car. That's Joel Mesh. Joel Mesh was slowing there. And as Alex Denning continues to pick them off, the number 11 of Joel Mesh seems to be slow around the circuit. They're analysing the suspension. Perhaps a shock absorber, something like that, has gone wrong on the Schnitzel AM car. It's the AM lead under contest here, and Florian Bauer makes contact with Alberto Di Martini. Now, Porsche radiators are notoriously fragile. There was front-end contact there, and it looks to me as if there's fluid coming off that 99. I think Florian Bauer has damaged his car. While all of that is going on, Mattis Bruschkel and Zach Meakin are now fighting for second place. The battle has been ongoing this entire race. Everyone else has dropped like flies, and Zach Meakin manages to get through into second position there. Bruschkel then will take third place on his debut in GT Winter Series, GT4 Winter Series, and Jamie Day will secure a victory once again for Fassetti Motorsport. 17 seconds clear of Meakin. Bruschkel rounding out the overall podium at a Pro-Am winner, Charles Dawson.
You must be over the moon with that. Another win in the bag.
Yeah, it was a good start to the weekend. Obviously, both pole for me and Mikey, and then a race win this morning. So, yeah, I think for the rest of the weekend, we're looking in a good position.
And talk us through the safety car. Obviously, you did have that challenge, but perfect restart, and then able to establish a gap after that.
Yeah, I think the main thing I was thinking was just to get a gap straight away, so just back them up and get a nice release. And once them two fight, I can just get an even bigger gap.
Well, Jamie Day's always a confident man. He's on the top step again in the GT4 Winter Series. Charles Dawson and his young son on the top step in Pro-Am. And the AM class goes to Alberto Di Martini. Cayman Trophy honours to Mikael Sander. Race number 2, and this time it's Mikey Porter's turn to try and get glory for Fassetti Motorsport. Marcel Marcevics alongside on the front row in the Schnitzelau Mercedes. It's a good start from Porter, he leads, but it is getting greasy out there on the circuit. We understand rain has started to fall on the formation lap here in this second race. Could that have an effect on the grip around the circuit? It's side by side for the lead. Look at Marcevics all the way around the outside into turn 3. He is your race leader then. Porter down to second place. Also looking racy there, one of the McLarens from Elite Motorsport. That's Tom Leben, who ride on board with the Porsche from WNS Motorsport. That's Josef Knopp losing out there. He's up into second place briefly, down to third place as Leben continues to charge. Porter then outside the top 3, but Josef Knopp, a highly experienced GT4 competitor in his first weekend with us this season in the GT4 Winter Series, gets up to second place there, past the Elite McLaren. And it seems as though Leben is starting to struggle as this track looks to be a little bit greasier than it was earlier on. So Porter now wants his podium back. Frankly, he wants his lead back, having started on pole position. But third place is a good place to start, albeit he's being sandwiched by those 2 Elite McLarens. Just behind him is Tom Emson in the 27 car. So the sister McLaren Artura GT4 also on the back of the Forsetti car. And look at this, Porter gets a great run out of the first corner into turn 2. He's got the inside line, and it's a move for third place. Very well done from Mikey, but he is not going to be able to rest on his laurels for a nanosecond here, because both Leben and Emson are right on the back of him. You can see that the rain is getting worse here. Marcevics on the defensive as Josef Knopp in the Porsche really is fighting that car every inch of the way. Battle for third place is effectively 5 cars deep, maybe 6 at this point. Enrico Ferderer trying to get past Tom Emson there. So again, that's one of the Cayman Trophy cars, not quite GT4 spec, but he's hustling it away. And Marcevics is slowing here. I think he's struggling as these conditions get worse. Everybody is on slick tyres right now, and Marcevics seems to be the rolling roadblock at the moment. Josef Knopp, Mikey Porter, Tom Leben, all trying to find their way past the Schnitzelau Mercedes. Joel Mesh will have his fingers crossed that Marcevics can hold on here as these conditions worsen, because that is key for the championship fight, especially because the car, of course, had a mechanical issue in race number 1 on Saturday. Leben and Porter having a great scrap for third place. But through into the lead has gone Josef Knopp, or has he? Not quite. They're still side by side as they run through 3. Leben goes rally crossing there, forced off a little bit there by Mikey Porter. Side by side between Plushkel and Yerdrum further back as well. It looks like all the Mercedes are starting to struggle a little bit in these greasy conditions. It's a halfway house between dry and wet right now. And still side by side for third place as well between Porter and Leben. It's Leben on the inside line, but also with the inside line is Josef Knopp. He's got a nose ahead of Marcel Marcevics. Marcevics trying to carry the pace around the outside line. Going for that karting line, but not getting the traction down. Does get the traction down, actually. A bit of a wiggle as he did it, but he did manage to get the power down. He still leads the way. It's Knopp in second place. It's still side by side for third between Porter and Leben. And Mikey Porter still just about holding on to that third position, but Marcel Marcevics is clearly holding up everyone else in that top 6 right now. And Josef Knopp smells opportunity to secure an overall win here in the Pro-Am Class Cayman. Enrico Ferderer going against the Elite McLarens. Ferderer, of course, for SR Motorsport. That's a subsidiary, if you will, of SR Motorsport. So he'd love to get some scalps in his slightly slower Cayman Trophy car, maybe prove a point that he should be in the big GT4. And Marcevics in the big GT4 may well be losing out, because here comes the Cayman GT4 car of Josef Knopp. This time, surely he's done enough. He's got the whole car ahead. No, Maršovic is doing sensational work, but he aquaplanes a little bit there, or at least understeers, as again these conditions get worse, and that is the opportunity that Josef Knopp needs. He leads into turn 5. Maršovic still trying to find a way around the outside line as Plushkel and Jerdrum have both pitted. So the other two Mercedes have both pitted, I think, for wet, and maybe you can see why, because Knopp has now got 3 car lengths clear of the battle for second place, and Maršovic is being swallowed whole in the Mercedes AMG GT4. The 2 elite McLarens, Mikey Porter, all trying to find their way through, and Leben just about catches what was an immense slide there and moves up into second place. Porter around the outside of Maršovic as well. Maršovic from second to 5th in about 2 corners, from the lead to 5th over the course of 1 lap, side by side for second place. Oh, and at the bottom of screen there, Maršovic all the way off the circuit. I think he might follow his fellow Mercedes drivers and get some wet tyres onto that car. Indeed, he is into the pit lane as this battle for second place, third place continues. Tom Emson around the outside of Porter on the slippery paint. That was very brave indeed. Porter down to 4th place then. Meanwhile, unlapping himself is Emil Jerdrum, so those wet tyres are clearly working nicely. However, losing a lap in the process probably means it's a gamble that's not going to pay off. Max Huber and Florian Bauer fighting for the AM lead here. Bauer to the inside line for 7th overall, and of course the all-important class lead. Florian Bauer, who only started racing mid-2023 at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, he is maybe on for an AM win. Oh, for an overall win though, it's W&S Motorsports' Josef Knopp. He takes the win by 2.4 seconds over Leben and Emson, the Toms of Elite Motorsport, rounding out the overall podium ahead of Mikey Porter. And Marcel Maršovic at the very last turn, going for 7th overall. He did not get lapped as he moved on to the wet tyres, but still 7th place, most suboptimal. Florian Bauer, though, taking the AM win. Federer taking the Cayman Trophy as well as 5th overall. Big result.
Dry at first, but then the rain started to fall. Tell us how it was dealing with that.
From the beginning was actually everything normal, but after half of the race was completely crazy, and then just was challenge who win.
So there you go, climbing to the top step in Pro is Tom Leben, class podiums only. Pro-Am winner, overall winner, Josef Knopp on the top step. AM class win going to Florian Bauer. He'll be delighted with that result. And in the Cayman Trophies, Enrico Federer besting Tim Neuser. The hour-long endurance race is in notably worse conditions. As such, we have started the race under safety car, so single file start for this one. Will that benefit Jamie Day? Certainly he gets a good launch down the main straight as they get this one going. The 2 McLarens welded as they have been all weekend seemingly to the rear of one of the Mercedes. This time it's Joel Mesch in the Schnitzelhelm car. He is going to be so keen to get some points on the board given his various woes in the first 2 races. His teammate Maršovic, of course, having to go on to wet tyres mid-race in the sprint earlier on in the day. And in race 1, the shock absorber let go on Joel Mesch, so he's there in second place, desperate to keep some points on the board. Being pursued there by Zach Meakin. Meakin going around the outside at the final turn, trying to find some grip, cuts to the inside with a flourish and a slide, but that doesn't quite work for Meakin on this occasion. Alex Denning in the other elite McLaren looks like he's under pressure as well from Mattis Plushkel. There is Plushkel as they go through turn 1, trying to find his way through. Plushkel on his first weekend with us in the GT4 Winter Series has certainly been making his impact. Plushkel going around the outside at turn 3, not quite able to use that quote-unquote wet line to his advantage, but to the inside at the final corner. Bit of a saloon car move there from Plushkel, a former Tourenwagen Junior Cup driver in Germany. I think that might be some of that experience showing itself there. 5 seconds, 6 seconds clear is Jamie Day at the front from that battle for second place. This is the battle for the second place in AM. Florian Bauer getting past Alberto Di Martin for second in class. Porsche's always sure-footed in these wet conditions. Emil Erdrim leading Pro-Am quite comfortably at this juncture. And that battle for second place has actually closed in a bit on Jamie Day over the course of the last few minutes. Meanwhile, into the gravel there has gone Alberto Di Martin. Nil Montserrat, his team boss and teammate, won't be happy with that. In fact, that's Max Huber. So that's the AM class leader. Even bigger story then. The 19 car, Jamie Day, now handed over to Mikey Porter. So Porter comes back out with Marcel Marcevics right behind him. Tom Emson will take over from Alex Denning in the 27 car, who's doesn't quite want to shut the door, but finally the door does shut. 27 heads back out onto the circuit. Of course, a mandatory pit stop here. 71 seconds is the pit stop time. So hopefully everyone has adhered to that, including Zach Meekin, who comes back out onto the circuit, or Tom Leben, I should say, comes back out onto the circuit post-driver change with a lead of about 3/10. So he's now going to have to fight Mikey Porter. The Mercedes battle going on behind as well. Plushkel and Marcevics having a great scrap. Plushkel just about in third place for the time being. Look at Mikey Porter around the outside of Leben. Leben with a nose ahead, a car ahead as they run towards 7 and 8. Mikey Porter trying to get past Enrico Förderer there. Förderer a lap down. But a very quick driver. He's taken over from Willi Kuna. Clearly he's got good pace in these wet conditions. However, took the car over in a compromised position. Marcel Marcevics has been back into the pit lane. His pit stop was short. So Marcel Marcevics is a distant 4th place now, and Mikey Porter is into the lead. Porter through the centre chicane is your race leader then, or is he? Because that's wide, that's the paint, that's the gravel. And that's going to be 3rd place, unfortunately, for Mikey Porter. Oh dear, he's taken that over. He's gone through the gravel there in certainly suboptimal circumstances. Briefly led the way. He'll be very disappointed with that. There is Nil Montserrat trying to make up some positions in the AM battle. The top 3 in AM are very close together. It's Bauer from Huber from Montserrat, but Bauer is into the gravel. The AM leader, Florian Bauer, has ended up in the gravel. The safety car is out. That's turn 8. And he's right near the tarmac. No chance that could be covered under local yellows, but Florian Bauer, frankly, unfortunately, has thrown away an AM class win there. Back to green flag with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. It's a literal 1-lap dash then. Tom Leben, Plushkel, Porter, your top 3. Mikey Porter wants to try and get some points back. Oh, but Förderer into the side of him. Enrico Förderer tags the 19 car. Mikey Porter does well to keep it rolling, but that's a huge development, especially because going through there is Marcel Marcevics. He's trying to fight for what is now 3rd place. And of course, Marcevics' teammate Joel Mesh is the main competitor to the Aston Martin crew in the title fight. But Tom Leben has done everything he needs to do at the sharp end of the order. He is going to secure a win at long last for he and Zach Meekin, as well as Elite Motorsport. He takes the win. 2nd is Plushkel, 3rd is Marcevics, 4th Josef Knopp in the Pro-Am winning, Cayman, Emson 5th, Charles Dawson in 6th place, and Mikey Porter finishes 7th, but controversy there after that contact. That is going to be discussed for quite some time, I feel. But Tom Leben celebrates a win for Ian Meekin.
Congratulations, guys. Tom, you had to deal with a late safety car at the end there. How was that?
Yeah, it was a bit annoying, really. I started to pull away, and then I saw the car in the gravel, and I was guessing a safety car, but with 1 lap to go, I just had to hold on, and yeah, good result in the end.
Fantastic drive all the way through, a great pit stop as well, and then at the end, I guess, just controlling the race. You had some pressure throughout there.
Yeah, Mikey actually overtook me, I think, but then he went off, whatever, I overtook him, so yeah, good result. I've got to say thanks to Zach for putting a mega stint in the wetter parts of the race, giving me the position to sort of hold it, really.
Well, there you go, Leben and Meekin to the top step, by far their most successful weekend of the 2024 GT4 Winter Series season. Pro-Am win for Knopp and Danza. Am class victory going to Max Huber. He celebrates with his team boss Neil Montserrat there. And Cayman Trophy going to Sander and Noiser. Next up, the crews migrate to Valencia. Round 4 of the season comes up in just a few days.